Hi, this is Winnie Litton and
Ellen Chevalier.
And we are getting ready here at Oak Park High School to discuss Smart Notebook 16.2 collaborative learning software. So this is an upgrade from Smart, and eventually this is going to be the only version of things they're going to support. And as we mentioned earlier, if you're still using clickers this year, you might want to wait to get this to upgrade until you can have another system, especially if you're using it for summative assessment, for exams, where you would not be able to monitor where they are on their computers. And we'll talk about some potential in the future about that. Ellen, you join.
And if you're using your smart document camera, if that's something you rely on often, you'll want to hold off until the hover cams are made available to you, because you'll lose that functionality when you upgrade. So if you would like, if you have already upgraded, great, you can follow along with us. If you haven't upgraded yet and you just want to follow along to see if you want to take the plunge, then that's okay too. But it is collaborative, and it is a lot of getting the kids up here or getting what's up here out to your students on their devices. And so a lot of what Winnie and I are going to do today is just model that for you so that you see it in action and you get to experience it from the student's perspective, and then you can pick and choose what you like. A lot of what we know about it is just trial and error and playing it with the kids and asking their opinions. So
Sometimes more error than trial,
exactly.
or trials and our errors. This presentation that we're going through right now, if you would like a copy of it, there's a bit.ly of it. So if you want to go here to HTTP, it'll probably come up if you just type bit.ly, bit.ly / and this is for Oak Park High School NB16, if you want to make sense of that. Oh, that's it, I need your phone. OPHS NB16, that way you have a copy of it. If you look what we have up here at the beginning, we've pulled out the 4 big changes that they have in this version. We're not going to go into details about all of them, because we don't know about some of them very well. And some things we have in this district, we use Google Drive quite a bit. So some of them, Google Drive would be more helpful in Google Classroom than necessarily Smart Amp. Equation editor, those are going to be for our math people. We'll talk about that and introduce it, because you can have it at all levels. Obviously, we do math in every grade level. We have resources associated with this particular, so if you want to download this so you can access the resources, that might be a good idea. We're going to spend the bulk of our time on these two, Smart Lab and Smart Response. And one of the things that you can use to get into Smart Lab is there's a little monster button. And I know sometimes as secondary teachers you might go, why are they doing it so juvenile? But they do kind of like some of the monsters, but definitely in the elementary grades you'll like that, but secondary kids like it too. So for mine, you can see that the little monster's there, and it will show up once you have upgraded and you have that, that software. Okay, and one of the new things in Smart Lab is doing shout outs, and the way you work is you log in online, oh yeah, thank you, to Class Lab. So the first time you do this, here, make that. Let's see. What you want to do is on your computer right now is go to classlab.com. And if everybody could do that, that would be really seriously awesome. I appreciate that. Classlab.com. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put in a code. When you see this up here, there's a space in here and there. Don't put the space in. They just do that for your ability to remember a number to punch it in. So you're just going to put in 9267 and then 2816. And I will tell you that code in my classroom is the same code every single time. So once the kids come into your classroom, they literally, on any device that they have, they just start typing Class Lab, it comes up, my code is already inputted in there.
And the kids remember it. Mine's 65525680, you know, and they become really comfortable. They're like, oh, okay,
That's impressive.
Thanks.
I can't do that.
Does each period have a different
No.
code?
This is to get an associate.
You have your code.
Yeah.
It is attached to you as the teacher.
And we'll talk more about all the different ways, and you can get how you can get results and all of that. So right now we can tell, we can see,
Kristen.
yeah, who's logged in. Yes. Oh, okay, you're like, yes, here I am.
I will tell you, those of you who use Kahoot, one of the downsides to using this method instead of Kahoot is I love the sorry you can't play because your name is inappropriate feature where you X them out. You do not have that ability yet to get rid of the one kid who thinks they're going to be funny by putting something inappropriate. So that is something that you have to like develop as class culture, that you always, you know, you are an apple and you're always an apple if we're anonymous or something like that, because there are those kids who put the inappropriate things, or you just don't acknowledge them, however your classroom is set up. But
Yeah.
that is something that comes up.
The upside though is the names are so small up here that the kids usually can't see that there's something inappropriate, you know, so you can kind of ignore it.
Yeah.
So once they log in, and they have this down, you know, it's your first time for a lot of you, so it's like you think, oh, this is, you know, copious. It's really not. They get it right away. So at this point, I can start this activity. Okay, and it's blocking it a little bit, so I'm going to just close this right here. And this is a shout out for you to type in response to these questions. And again, you can type anything you want, and then it can be a problem. So the first question is, how was your spring break? So you can just type something in there just to try it. Did it come up on your screen? Did you log in?
Type in your response.
Yeah. And how was your first week back at school been?
Yeah, so there should be a drop-down menu below the box where you can text in, and if you hit the drop-down menu, then you can decide which category you want to respond to. And you, as the teacher, can control how many responses each student gets. So you can see down below the category, you know, Dave has 2 responses left to contribute to our shout-out.
Now, if you have a class of 38, there's going to be a lot of responses. So you probably want to start, oh, great, you went camping. Oh, we'll put this in the 2 shout, okay, busy. And you might want to start sorting them. Another strategy is if you have kids working next to a partner in a team, sometimes when I want some content that they're going to shout out, I say talk about it with your bio buddy and have 1 response. And then you can begin sorting them.
Busy. Oh, we have maybe not so sure. 6 weeks left. We can put that right in the middle. Oh, great, good, loud. And good, we can sort those together. So,
So now that was, you know, us getting some quick feedback, but I want to tell you there are several different activities. This was just one of many, and this was shout out. And so the first step would be to go to the monster, and the second step would be to hit the shout it out button. And so we wanted to model how to create a shout out with a specific question.
okay. So we're going to come right down to the bottom here where the little monster is, and you select the monster, and that will bring up the activity, the labs, or the activities that you can create. Now you'll notice
Wait, I'm going to jump in there just for a second.
Go.
Every time I see lab, being a science teacher, I'm thinking it's a lab. They call that for anything you want to create. So think of it as a creative lab, okay, not a science lab. Okay, go ahead.
And shout it out is down here. And you'll notice it says devices required. And the reason it says devices required is this is not something they can do up at the board. This is something they do from out there, okay, out in class. So I'm going to pick shout it out. I'm going to go to categories. And then you can have up to 4 categories. You need a minimum of 2. So you create the question that you're interested in or the category. And like you saw on the one we had, if your question is too long, it cuts it off and you can't see the entire thing. So you want to try and keep it short. So it could be used to check in with your students for that day. You could be using it as a what did you learn today? What are you hoping to learn? A KWL chart. You could do it that way as well. We're just going to, let's see, what do you hope to learn today?
And notice how long she can type a lot in there, but when it comes up, you don't have as much. You just double check it once before you post it to make sure you can see it or be willing to read it to them.
Okay, and oops. I couldn't handle it. The first two words. I'm sorry. Okay, and so right here then, you can, contributions could be text, or you could actually have them contribute images, so they can select images there. You have the ability to say, well, really, I only want one response per child, or maybe because there's 2 categories, they can have 2 responses, 1 for each category. Show the name, or maybe you're asking something sensitive, and so you want to say hide the name. Okay, and then you hit finish, and it will generate it for you on that page. Okay, now you'll notice that over here we have this red cell phone, okay, and the cell phone is telling us who is logged in, and I'm going to ask one of you to get out. Okay, good. Jennifer, thank you for playing. So Jennifer right now has the red phone next to her, so I know quickly she's not on Class Lab at the moment. So I know she's gone somewhere else. And when she comes back, that will disappear, and I know she's ready to participate with us. So that's a quick way to know who's still there and who's not. You don't need to log in again because you're already in Class Lab. So I could hit Start Activity, start this activity, and again your screen would pop up with a shout it out. It could be, and it's made that quick, so you could come up with something in the middle of class and put it up there and the kids could respond. Robin.
On the contributions where it says text or images, can you have it in both, or is it one or the other?
I don't know.
Contributor names, display, trash can. I really didn't like what you said.
I think once it's running, we can't change it, but we can try it.
Yeah. Okay, so let's try it. Okay, so let's edit the activity. So I just went up here. Can't see it anymore. I just went up here to the pencil to edit the activity, and it'll open up my options again. And let's go to images.
Now, if they had a phone, it'd be really easy, or an iPad, right? Mm-hmm. Chromebooks take pictures too. Okay.
I was going to ask you, what are you assuming the children have to use to respond to this?
Okay, so this is assuming that you're either in a one-to-one environment or you're in teams where you have, let's say you have the kids in 10 teams or 8 teams and you have at least 8 devices. So it's up to you in your classroom. My class, I don't care if they use a cell phone or a Chromebook. I figure they're going to go wherever they're going to go regardless, and I can only motivate them to make good choices. Now, if they're going to use a test, we'll talk about ways to evaluate that because that's going to be really important. So it depends on what you have and your devices in your classroom. Now, there are ways to still use this without, this is an activity we picked where it required devices, and all the activities that require devices are labeled as that.
And they can use an iPad.
They could use anything that gets them on the internet, okay. They can use. Anything that gets them on the internet, they can use. Okay, so did you change it to picture?
I did.
Okay, so now some of you can see, can you upload a picture? I actually haven't used that as a picture device.
Yeah, so it'll tell you, no longer can you type, it says select an image, so they would have to then choose an image from their camera roll, so it does look like it's one or the other. Okay.
So, for me, how I would envision this is show me your results of your lab today. You know, if it's something that it was visual that I could see. Very nice.
Okay, so I have a choice between take a photo, photo library, or iCloud Drive.
Okay.
On my phone.
Okay.
So take a photo would be like right now you take a selfie, okay? And then photo library would be what's stored on your phone. And then iCloud would be if you had anything uploaded to like your cloud account that you could pull back down.
Okay, so you can see I could click on one of those images so I could make it bigger. I bet this is a math person. And now I can use these arrows to scroll through all the pictures that were there. I really like that one a lot. That just made my day better. But it's Friday.
Cute.
Okay, so you can see different ways My burrito
Burrito.
slowly. That's pretty fun. Take that one out. So you can see those are different ways that you could possibly use that. But we have so much more we want to show you.
So
we're gonna,
here is an elementary example teaching parts of speech. So you could do that, and they could put up the part of speech, vocabulary. There's all sorts of ways. Entrance ticket, exit ticket, comprehension check. My students were like just blank canvases today, and I just wrote, what the heck's going on?
That's not what she wrote. Okay.
But we're being recorded. So then they just responded, we're tired, we're tested out. And then I got feedback immediately that let me know, okay, we need to try something new.
And they were validated.
And they were validated that I recognized that they just weren't present today.
Can these shout outs be pre-established within the notebook?
So
Yes.
this is an example of one I did ahead of time. I was getting ready to add in to talk about, plate tectonics, and this is something in NGSS where we're weaving the earth science in through all the disciplines. And so they didn't have any textbook reference for this as I'm weaving it into biology. So I thought I'd start out, I thought they would, if I could kickstart it a little bit, what do you remember about plate tectonics? So it was a good way up here, what do you know? And then I asked them, how do you think this relates to biology? So it got them to think about it, and it was really good. I right away, I got nothing. For one kid. And I'm all, remember not to celebrate your ignorance, and then we could move on and then reward those children with, like, oh, great, yeah, you remembered that. I'm so glad. Oh, and in that way, I'm going to tell you the discussion that we had, I felt was so much better because I already elicited safely from them what they did remember and making the connections to how it related to biology, and it was pretty quick. So what I did in this case is I put a diagram in the back relating to it, and then I added the shout out, and I saved it, and then I used it as part of my presentation.
Okay, so as we've demonstrated just with the one shouted out, it promotes learning through play. So gamification is huge, and getting students to learn by playing. It has a variety of customizable templates, and we're going to go through some of those with you as we look at some of the other labs or activities they offer. It incorporates devices, so the whole one-to-one implementation that we're looking at going to, or if you have devices in your classroom or a cart that you check out, a way to use those and to pause every once in a while and get that interactivity. And then rich colors and graphics.
That's coming. You haven't seen rich colors. You've only seen slate.
Just wait, okay?
Yes.
And then, so if you have set up your, or if you have downloaded and upgraded to 16.2, you can set up your own account with Google, and that will give you your unique 8-digit code for Class Lab. So here are the instructions for that. We're going to keep going just because we have a lot to get covered with you. But this is how you would do that, and you have access to that through the Bitly. So here are some of those rich colors and graphics. Let's play a game.
Okay, now this is one where people come to the board, and if you're teaching elementary, they're probably going to be more into this. I've used it in secondary. What I do is just get two. You always have at least 2 kids who will be helpful to you because they want you to like them. But anyway, I'm just saying. But what I have done is I get 2 kids to start, and then they will contribute a response, and then they go tag somebody else to come up to the board. So I don't have them stay perpetually up at the board. So in this case, can we get just 2 volunteers? Boy, we do it like we didn't even practice. Yay! Get on up. Yay!
The price is right.
Now, get ready. When you're done, go tag somebody else. Just don't tag Dick Sloan because it's going to annoy him. Okay, so come over here. He's my friend, I know. All right, so this one, as a teacher, I'd probably hit start. Okay, so what happens is you get to take turns spinning. So you get to go first. Spin that wheel, Bree. click the power up to find out what you got. Spin again. Oh, spin it. Oh, sorry, that was your power up over there.
I don't even know what it is.
Okay, you get to answer that.
What are the opposite? Oh gosh. 7.
Yeah.
7.
7.
Yay! So hit continue. Now you go pick somebody else. Pick somebody else. It's going to be your turn. You can help her out if you want to.
Yes.
Yay! Hit continue. Okay, I'll hit continue. Go grab somebody else. You're over here. Oh, sorry. And you get this power up button if you want to.
Oh. Yeah, it's C. C.
Good job. Continue. Okay, go grab somebody else.
I answered your question for you already.
Yay! Oh, good job, Dave. Hit the power up button because I think you did that.
What is that?
Can you hit it?
I did.
Oh, it didn't do it. Oh, to remove an incorrect option. Now we know what the power up is.
Michelangelo.
Pick a wrong one, just a shot.
Yeah, pick a wrong one.
Let's see what happens.
He doesn't.
Okay, now power up.
Where was the power up at?
It's gonna be, we missed it. How do you power up?
Oh.
Dang it. Okay, so.
Oh, it did. It gave him another chance.
Oh, it gave you another chance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good job. Thank you. Sacramento.
Okay.
No, but we
So
said
quick
Okay.
game.
The other team stole the question.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so then you can actually go back and review. This is one of the nice things about the labs is now they give you a chance to review, so you can scroll through and you can answer the questions and you can say, okay, yeah, we thought it was Raphael, but it's really Michelangelo or one of the turtles or something. Okay, so it allows you to go back and review the correct answers with your students.
Okay, and I just want to get something in your head. So you had a shout out where you needed a device to throw up the answer, right? Then this one, people came up to the board. So now we're going to show you another one.
Okay, so this is a match 'em up, and match 'em ups can be either you coming up here that way, or it can be us sending it to you as a way to practice at your own table. So we're not expecting you to know your hormones and their actions in the body, but this is just one that we already had created. And so the idea here is that you would take one of the hormones and put it here, and you would match it with, this one does water balance, okay? And you would match it with its action. And you can set it up to when if they get it right, then it takes it, or they have to match all of them and then they check at the end like a quiz. So if I were to do lowers calcium and I picked oxytocin, which is wrong, it would send them back right now.
Now, it didn't come up on your screens though, right?
No.
No, because it's set up right now. Go ahead, Ed.
To be on the board.
Yeah.
But I could very easily come back to the phone if the phone is there, and I could start the activity. And now it should show up on your screen. And you are practicing individually, and again, we've gotten what's up here into your hands.
It's very small
You're on your phone.
on the phone.
But it is,
But
it
something to consider. Yeah, because if you look like, you probably can't read this from here. It says melatonin. So that is something you're going to see again and again in some of the gamification is you have to think of how to make it smaller to fit on that. So that will be an issue. Yeah.
So if we start doing this now individually, will you get a report, so to speak, as to how we're doing?
It depends on the activity that you can, when you end this at this point.
or I can even pause it and I can say, okay, you guys, and come back and help you with something. And then I can resume the activity. And now when I end it, I don't believe that we get,
Not on this one we
on
don't.
this particular one,
Yeah.
we don't. So this is just for the students.
This would be on the lines of formative assessment. Yeah,
We're talking about the star later, right?
yeah,
Okay.
because we put notations.
Okay, so then we're gonna, there was the phone and there was the star. And one of the things the star allows you to do is choose a list of kids or a list of objects that you want to use in your activity. And to do that, you would have to create a list so that you can pull that out. So if we go to the monster again, you're going to see these bars up here at the top, and this is how you manage your content. So if you push on there, it's going to say create new, and you can create new matched pairs, a new quiz, a new single list, or a new student list. So if you click on student list, you could input the names of your students. You want to put a few in there?
Yes.
Okay. And create a list.
That's
because
funny, if you know me.
the activities are editable. We'll show you some modifications that you can do with that, and you can push these out. My best students. Winnie doesn't know the names of her students.
Yes, I do.
She just knows, oh, that one that sits there. And she'll say, hi, sweetheart. Did I sound like you?
Yeah, you did.
Shame.
Shame.
So here you can see right here, my best students, and if I clicked on that, then you can see here are her best students, and we'll use that in just a moment for something else. So we would save that. One way you could use that is if you were a specific class and you wanted to push something out to just them. Okay. All right, another fun game coming your way.
We wrote ourselves notes.
We just like the music in this one.
Yeah. Now, this one, she started.
Okay.
This one we're going to push out to you, but this is a sequencing where you go from first to last. And so what we would like you to do is to put them in
Order of the rainbow.
And little hint, Roy G. Biv, if that will help you, just so you can see the...
And see, here we can see your progress. We know right now you're playing, and then it'll say complete or completed when you're done. So you can monitor progress, go and poke the kid that is maybe taking a little longer, check in with them. They can't remember if it's indigo or violet, that comes first.
And you can move this, and you can still, if you push it, you can still play it up here. So if you have some kids who need some assistance, and if you put it in the wrong place, it kicks it out. Did that do it for you as well?
Yes.
Okay.
And if the sound is annoying to you, like sometimes the sounds are annoying, or they get annoying very quickly, you just press the speaker and it cancels that out for you.
My kids like this particular sound one. It makes them feel peaceful, but it annoys the heck out of Ellen. I play it really loud so she can hear it next door. Okay, do we want to talk?
Yeah.
Hint to Ellen and Winnie.
Okay.
Discuss the star.
Okay, so if you push on the star, you have modifications that you can make to, thank you.
I'm gonna do, this is another way to turn the sound down. Okay.
Old-fashioned volume.
You can make modifications. So one, if you wanted to create it as a game, you could add buzzers, okay? Now, what the buzzers do is you would say, okay, what's the first color of the rainbow? And the first one to tap the board, their color and shape pops up on the screen. Okay, so there's also sounds that go along with it. If you hit the settings button, now I want 4 individuals at the board, hovering, and you want to race me? Oh, I won. Okay, so you can see, you can very easily, there's no like contesting, I touched it first, it's very easy to see who's up there.
Wait, question on that.
Yeah.
Is that only possible on the bigger boards that have the dual touch?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, we don't have. I was going to say mine.
Well,
Well, that's you're still whoever's first touches it.
First,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's whoever's first. Yeah.
You could also add a randomizer, and I think we already have the randomizer out. But okay, I took it away, so we're gonna put it back. And what the randomizer does is now we have this magic hat, okay? And I'm gonna go to the settings for the magic hat. And remember that list we just created of Winnie's favorite students? Here it is, okay, or her best students, that's right. And they've been put in the hat now. And I tap the hat, and Timmy needs to come on up to the board to tell me the colors of the rainbow.
But he's absent. Oh,
dang it.
there we
So
go.
no Timmy today. So the girl who sits right in front, they're gonna come up on to the board. So if you
Pick again. I meant to pick again. He's absent.
Stinking Tim,
You are chosen.
she already likes to go. Apparently only Tim and the
The
girl,
girl
that
that sits in the front get to play.
All right, who cares?
We're
Okay,
done with
so,
that.
I'm feeling
Randomizer.
I'm feeling very left out right now.
Yeah.
If you put this back up, you could also do items, or you could do numbers. Let's say there are 32 kids in the class and they have an alpha number that they know. You could put the 32 numbers in and, hey, number 5, come on down, and so a way, instead of, having the old sticks or the cards that equity sticks and equity cards, you could do it that way. They are called
Okay.
equity sticks. Or you can put a timer on it, and you can, how much time do they get to play that or to push it out to you, so you can add a timer to it.
Okay, we good?
Okay, yep.
All right. So we don't need, I know. This right here, if you download this, you can get those specific instructions in case you forget what we just went over. This is another one. The kids like this one the best. It's Monster Quiz. And how you do this, when you hit start, it'll
I
say,
do like this music.
if you start a new
We play
activity,
these a lot.
I'm starting it. It's going to ask me, how many teams do you want today? Well, you're all signed in. I could say, oh, I want to divide into 3 teams. And then it will randomly place you into different teams. Okay? And so you can see. But let's say I don't want Cindy over here. I want Cindy
She doesn't
here.
play nice.
She doesn't play
nice.
do.
Yes, they're not. So I can switch them like that if I feel like I need to. So now they're not picking, I'm, randomizing. And then what's going to happen is you're all working independently, but you all have to finish, and you'll see what happens to the monsters.
God, I don't know.
Just try. Just try. Because we wanted to show you something if you
Can't
didn't.
get him to sign it on.
So sign in. Oh, it's because, you just want to go to Smart Lab. You're doing it on my thing. That's why.
All right, let's go Blizzard Blasters.
Because you
And Monster Boxers and Cool Chillers.
You're on my version instead of just plain and Smart Lab.
Oh, Stephanie just got one right.
Yeah.
Susan, smashing the box. Susan's killing it here. Monster Boxers, our evolution expert.
I didn't remember which one I put in there.
Natural selection.
Oh, okay. So this might be a good idea. I labeled it what each little quiz is. And I'm going to tell you, for those of you who create things and you drag from one presentation into another, like I might have one for AP Bio and I want to use the same thing in honors, it doesn't work to drag the slides. The activities don't transmit. So what you need to do is save it into your gallery and bring it back out of your gallery. And then you'll have all the gamification. No dragging, just so you know.
Oh, look, Blizzard Blasters are almost broken free.
Yeah, just guess.
But what's happening when you don't know the answer to the question? Do you just get to skip the question?
No, it comes
No, it comes back to you with the answers scrambled up again. So you can't just select A each time, and then B, and then C, and then D, and guess. Like, you've actually got to remember, what did I guess the last time, so I guess something different this time. Oh, does it take it out?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There we go.
But it
So-
does-
After so many tries,
tells
it
you
doesn't,
what you
it tells you what you
sorry
got
for.
on the first try.
Yeah.
Okay.
it does feel sorry for you.
So Blizzard Blasters, Cool Chillers, it's neck and neck. Oh,
Blizzard
Blizzard Blasters, number 1.
A strategy I use in the class, just so they have accountability to try to finish, is I say, okay, who are the Blizzard Blasters? Raise your hand. Who are, and my kids who use clickers, who are competitive, who are like into school, they will literally get out of their seats, so they're all together at a lab table, and they're like, you know, so that they can beat all the other children. Okay, so survival of the fittest. So there are different strategies. So you could have them move into their teams and work together if you wanted to. Can we keep going?
Yeah. So again, oh, congratulations, Cool Chillers. Okay. So it shows you, celebrate you. Yay. Again, you can, you know, how soon did they finish? They finished in 2 minutes. They finished in 3. And you can see 45% of the time they got the answer right the first time.
Well,
Okay.
and then on my screen, it has how I did.
How you did. So you can see how many times it took them to answer. And then again, you can see, and I can see that as a class, we got the question right 45% of the time on the first time. And I can see that the first time, you guys were pretty good here with neuroglia. Congratulations. Like 66% of the time you answered right on the first try. So you can kind of gauge. We can't see individual student responses, but we can gauge as a class how we're doing on a particular topic. Okay? Like I would note number 2, well, we really blew it there, so maybe we need to go back and talk about dendrites. I guess this wasn't evolution. This was nervous system.
Nervous system. Okay, and then you need to consider, obviously, we're not showing you all the different activities that you can do in there, but you want to decide, do I want them to come to the board? Do I want them to work independently on their own device? All you need to do is look, hint to Ellen and Winnie, pull up and discuss. If you hit that,
Monster.
there we go. Now when you look at this, you could have an idea of the different ones. Like there's fill in the blanks, flip out, label review, that game show that we did. And also the one that had to do with ranking, there's more than one way to rank that order. When you hit that, I just happened to pick one way up there, but you have different options. You have different options that you could use. Here are all the different games. Okay, so I think, what one did we do? This one, or no, we did this one.
Yeah,
but there are different ones that you can do for that. So it's not limited to that one game for ranking.
And all of them have music. Most of them.
Most of them. There's a couple, I think, that don't, but I think they're trying to fix that. All right. So questions or concerns about that first part that we went through? Okay, so what we want to do is, those are the activities. Within the lab, there is another section that's about if you're going to give some sort of test where you want to have, oh, you hit it right, sorry. And that's called Smart Response 2. So for those of you that use clickers, this is replacing clickers. And those of you who don't use clickers, this will be easier for you as far as setup and maintenance. Because as opposed to notebook where you would do it a page at a time, or what we're used to with the clickers, it throws out, if I have 5 questions, it throws out all 5 to them, and then they can answer all 5 right away. You know,
And at their own pace.
Yeah, at their own pace. Did I hit everything on there? Or
Yeah.
Can I move past? So just so you can see how that might look. Okay, and again, you'll notice class lab now for you, you've logged in, so you don't have to keep doing it, you know, throughout the class period. You will the next time. So now you're going to get a series of 5 questions. What did we ask you?
Oh, days of the week.
Oh, days of the week. Oh, good. We asked when you could all get 100% on.
After the nervous.
And once again, it has that multiple answers possible.
Yes, we're going to go over all of that. You have multiple answers. You have numbers. Well, yeah.
true,
And
false,
what's trying?
texting. And see, here we can see 28% of the questions have been answered.
I don't know where we are.
We're lost.
Oh, it's because you're going back and forth to the notebook presentation. Just click on class lab.
Where? Where's that?
Okay, so you're in
On
the
your
presentation
web.
right now, so you want to get back on the internet right here and be in Smart Lab. There you go. Yeah, just, you have two windows up right now. You have the
And
presentation
again,
and
you
the
can check
internet. So keep
progress.
going back into the internet.
So I can see that Robin has answered 4 out of the 5 questions. You know, if you notice that someone's still on 0 or 1, you walk over to them, you know, hey, how's it going? Or, you know, provide a prompt or something like that. And again, those names are small enough that really the students, except for those in the front row, can't really read what's going
So
on.
is there any, are we to anticipate at some point in the future that the space with which we can write answers is going to be a little bit larger than this? This is very, very limiting.
Yeah, these are just for quick responses at this point. Similar to what the clickers are now. You have a limited number of characters, and you also have a limited number of characters for asking your question. So this would not be a place to collect long answers. You're still going to go pen to paper or Google Drive to Google Drive on that one.
Okay, just for time's sake, we're going to end it. But here you can see the breakdown, you know, 9 people enjoy Friday the best. 3 said Monday, those are the rebels in the class. And then 3 didn't respond. So we can see that right away. You can discuss it just like you could with clickers, but instead of having the wheel, the pie graph, now you have this bar graph over here. So we know, okay, the following is
Now
your
this
favorite
is
day.
this is one where obviously it's an opinion question, and we wanted to model all the different types of questions that there are, as you saw as you went through here. And what I have found, you can do it a couple of different ways. If you can go through question by question, but I'll tell them, look at your neighbor's screen, and I'll always tell them, if they don't show, they didn't know, you know, and assume they got it wrong, and come along and guide them and help them to understand it.
Okay, and then this is really cool when you typed in. This is kind of like Wordle. So the word that got typed in the most is going to be the biggest, and in the center, you guys all look like you like something different.
Explain. No, look what we wrote.
Explain.
Now,
That's
I
what
don't
it's
know
all
if you
about,
noticed when you got the question, like I've done quizzes where I have pictures in there that I'm asking them, what did I point the arrow, you know, what is this structure? When you're taking this, I can't do it now, but on your screen, if you would touch the image, there's a little box next to it, it'll blow it up. So you can make any small image larger.
Spin and move. Okay, and so do you want to do the exporting?
Sure. So if you want, if these are results that you need to keep, like if it was a quiz or a test, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later, you then can save whatever that is. There we go. You can save whatever that is however you want to save it. For me, same as clickers, I have results. So I have results 2016-17. I have them by semesters, and then I will save that, and I could put it right in here, and then I can go and export that, and I can print it just like you did with your clickers. So if I went into my Finder and Dropbox and results, do you guys remember what period I put it in?
There it is.
Oh, thanks, you guys. Okay, then I can pull that up.
And it automatically went into Excel.
Yeah, it automatically goes into Excel. And then you can print that out. Now for me, I don't want to print out, I have a copy of all of this, but when I go to print it, all I do is I go like this, and I just print just the selection. So then I would go to print it, and I would say I just want that selection. Oops, sorry, print. Maybe. Something's flashing at me? Oh, that's scary. Oh, I wonder. Oh, look, my printer's not here, and the reason is I was printing to the copy machine, so that's probably why. But then you can just print, I'm sure you printed out of Excel before, just print to that selection, and then you have a hard copy of that particular quiz or test.
One question.
Yes.
Does it grade, would it grade for your response as correct or incorrect? No?
No. Yeah,
Still have
and
to
so
grade.
what you probably want to do on that is just not, you'd have to self-grade that.
The second question I have is.
Yes.
What I had always done before with the smart response, it used to be where each question was on a separate slide.
Correct.
And I would print out the piece of paper with the separate slides, and so they could solve their math problems that way.
Right.
Is there a way to print out those quizzes?
Not that I know.
No, the only
of.
thing, I don't know a way to
Okay.
print those out.
Because they want it to be, digital, paper free.
Because-
That's what they're going
Because
with.
the clickers wouldn't grade for your response.
If it was a short, yeah, if
Well,
it was,
that's what I mean.
yeah. Oh, it will if it's
Oh,
short,
okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I thought you meant long, yeah.
And the nicest thing, I think, is that if you had clicker questions in, it converts them over to the new format. So you don't have to re-put them in.
With the caveat of limited number of characters. So some of my questions didn't transfer over because the questions were too long, or it had an image that it didn't know how to upload that image. So there are some that I will find don't transfer well. But just so you know, and I think, Ellen, you mentioned this earlier, when you open up now, if you download this new version, when you open it up, it'll automatically open it and save it as the new version and leave your old version intact. However, you could not access that old version unless you had the older software. Okay, do you understand what I'm saying? What do you care if it saves the old version? If you've upgraded, you're in Notebook 16, you can't open it up in its old way because you don't have that software. Unless you have one computer that has your old version of Notebook and one that has your new. Let me show you because you don't understand what I'm talking about. Okay, so as I am slowly working through, as I transferred over into Notebook. So here are my newest Notebook presentations for this school year. So the newest ones are in stars up here, but you will see down below, it will,
Right here.
good, show me where. Yeah, right
so
here.
like hormones and endocrine system, old. And so that's the old version before 16.2.
Yeah, so
it's
this is,
still there.
it's still there and still saved if you had access to the old software to open it up in that way.
So right now with that computer, you can't open it up.
No.
It's gonna
It's gonna
transfer
make it into the
over.
new version again. And it
It's gonna
tells you,
convert.
I'm converting this into the new version.
Yeah, it converts it.
Yeah, I don't lose it. It's still there. So if I had something that I was concerned about, I just would need, if I downgraded from 16.2 and put the older software on, I could reopen those. Nothing's lost is what I want you to tell you, what I want to convey to you as you upgrade.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
So-
Go ahead.
Okay, so question types. Question types, you have essentially the same questions that you did with clickers, true, false, multiple choice, multiple answers, opinion, and there is a short answer option, but they will not grade the short answer option for you. So just so you know.
Does it have the?
Just few words, it will.
Does it have the mathematical symbolism?
Yeah, we're going into that right now.
Okay, good.
Here are the long instructions, in case you didn't follow anything we did. You have that as a resource. And this also is still that.
Yeah, still.
Okay.
Okay.
Still explaining.
So when you set up an activity page, and we've kind of gone through this already, but you have the speaker for the sound. So if it just bothers you and you're on the opposite side of your board than the volume, you can just click the speaker. If you want to reset the activity, it says restart here, but you can reset from up top. And if you wanted to edit, you can't edit while it's running, but if you stop it, you can then edit the activity with whatever options that particular activity or that particular quiz that you want to give will offer you.
We're just showing, let's see, what did we want to do on this Oh.
this is evolution of life. Yeah, this was just another quiz.
That's okay. Well, that was just a
Okay,
quiz.
you can talk about the
Okay, so what's coming up in the future for the district, which is incredible, is something called Go Guardian, and some of you have beta tested this already. Go Guardian allows you to look at every kid's computer. Now, when I do quizzes and tests, I put them in Notebook, and same as I did with clickers, if it's a test that's, let's say, 50 questions long, if it's a summative assessment, they will have a hard copy of that exam in front of them, just like they did with their clickers, and they go through and click their responses. And I always have paper backup to those as well in case there's a major system crash. If it's a quiz that's 5 questions, I don't have paper backup. They just answer here on their computers. But I don't want them to switch over and Google the answers, right? So I want them to just be on that one website, and that one website is Go Guardian. And I can at any point look and see what's on any of their computers at any time. And what was fun...
You want them to be on Class Lab.
Oh, like Class Lab, sorry.
And you are on Go Guardian.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I am tardy. Tired. You get it. So this is kind of funny. We were trying this out when we were at a Q conference, and I needed the kids to take an assessment for Amgen, and that was part of it. But also they were doing they had some assignment they needed to work on. So I was in Palm Springs, and I pulled up my Go Guardian and turned on Go Guardian in Palm Springs, which then I could see every computer in the room. Some people were working on English. Some people were working on reviewing for their driving test. And so I started sending them individual messages. Why are you on your driving test? And you could see them go, and you could see them like trying to close
You can watch
out.
all the tabs.
Yeah, they're closing tabs.
They're like
closing
freaking
tabs.
out.
And oh my gosh, it was hilarious because I could monitor them from anywhere. Now, during a quiz, I don't want to sit there and watch all their screens like this. So all you have to do is say, everybody better be on Class Lab. I start the session, and you can have a ribbon that runs. So instead of looking at every screen, and we'll do a Go Guardian in-service later, I can see a ribbon, so I know on my screen it better say solid blue. And if it doesn't say solid blue, I can click on that one kid and see where they went. And what I tell them is, I don't care where you went, but if you got off Class Lab, you're done. Your quiz is 0. And you just have to shoot a hostage once to make an example of them, and they get it. And then that's it. They're done. And they won't go off of Class Lab. They'll stay on it. And they know the system is you have to wait till I give you the green light. You can't go, oh, everybody's done, so I went on. Because you have to wait till I say it's good. So that's something that's going to come district-wide, right?
Yeah.
Is that starting in fall? Okay, sweet. So that's how you can give your quizzes and tests and not worry about them going somewhere else and still use this.
Okay, we're gonna fly. We have 7 minutes, so we're gonna fly through Equation Editor, which is probably good because
Most of us don't understand.
yeah, most of us won't understand what's going on. So for my math people,
Woo woo!
and
And
chemistry,
science teacher.
okay,
Look what I have here.
and real
Math
science teacher.
and science.
Woot woot, okay? So they do have a new equation editor, and so you would go to the puzzle, and then there's the function sign. Sigma. Okay. I was trying to be good. And so they have your symbols,
things.
math things
Yeah.
there for you to put the equation in. Okay, I know
Is
that's
that for like
that's
inserting
hard.
just on a regular notebook slide?
Well, let's try. Okay, 3.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to use this as touchscreen. 3 pi. Insert equation. Okay,
So
and so it puts it up right there. It works with Geogebra, so if you are into Geogebra, then that's fantastic. So it works with that.
And before we go
Oh, I'm sorry.
before we fly through these next slides, a full tutorial that was given to us by AMP
Smart Amp.
or
No.
something. No.
Yeah,
It's
somewhere.
on there.
Okay.
They're really nice. Anyway, that's there for you to help you with it. Okay.
So they have shapes and lines that you can draw, like complete the pattern sort of thing for younger kids. They have fractions where like like here I have a quarter that moves out, or here I have an eighth that moves out. They have smart blocks. So if you
that was already, right? You did smart blocks before. That was in a later upgrade, right? Okay, it's okay. Keep going.
All right. And angle, you can bisect the angle
by doing that.
Geogebra.
I'm going to just step back for a minute. Smart blocks,
or
you can get it to do math, like act like a calculator for you.
adding
So
another
6 plus 3, or you can connect lines. We could talk quite a bit just on that. So has anybody doing with the smart blocks? Okay, well, play around with it. You might like it. Yeah, okay.
There we go. Symmetry, making them line up, flipping the shapes around. Geogebra, right equation, insert equation. Those would be the things you want to look at there. Math instruction. Oh, how does this one work? Do you know?
It's called graphing. Oh, that one. I don't know this one.
Oh, slide it over. Does it reveal?
Yeah. Linear. That has to just do with layering, though. You know that, right? So the white was there all along, right?
Okay. And then this is called graphing, as Winnie just told me. Where I think you plot points and connect them. Okay. We're moving on.
Okay. Now, the next part of it, the fourth piece, is called Smart Amp. And it's kind of like Google Drive and Smart Technologies, and it creates an interactive workspace. For instance, if you wanted to work on a project with several students, they could go to that, online workspace. And there is a complete tutorial here. I played around with it a little bit, and I don't want to say it's not helpful because it could be very helpful, but right now in my world, Google Classroom meets that needs for me, and Google Drive meets that need for me. Jessica, are you knowing more than we do?
I agree with that as of now, but I
Yes.
Yeah.
When we were in our Smart Amp training, a lot of elementary teachers were excited about this because you could create it up as one of your centers or spots to rotate, and kids you could put something up and they had to edit or add to it and
or watch a video in that spot.
Right, and so it made the smart board another center and a collaborative center instead of just playing a game or something up there. That was what we heard over and over again, how elementary teachers could see using it in their classroom. At the middle school, high school, we don't often do centers, so that
and I
Google it meets our needs a little bit.
Yeah, and I would just take a pause for a minute because we've been like, all this stuff. Again, I would tell you, find one thing that maybe you find is useful for you and just do that for a little bit. For me, I just did learning how to take the quizzes and tests because that was something I needed immediately without a clicker. So that was my priority number one. And then I started doing those monster. The kids like those monsters.
They love the monsters.
Yeah, and I started integrating those. So pick something. If this sounds exciting, then focus on this and then tell us all about it because we want to know. And there's a dashboard up there that's similar to Google Drive and Google Classroom. And here, workspace tools. So I would say just try it. And once you have upgraded this or upgraded to 16.2, pick one feature to try and add in, whether it's Smart Lab, Response to, or Equations. Are there any concerns or questions we can help you with at this time? Yes.
Everything created from the past just slides over and it still exists?
Everything with a caveat. Some pictures or questions that you have, like I said, if the questions are long, you could write them longer. You had more characters you could use when you had clickers than you can with this.
Regular lessons.
The regular, yeah.
Regular slides over.
Yeah, I have had no problem.
The only problem I have had is some of the images get resized, and you have to like scroll down here, or if you have layered like a box with text on it, like the box has shrunk and the text hangs out the one side.
Boxes always.
I have found some quirky things like that where I've had to go and readjust pictures to fit them all in one screen because I don't like having to scroll down. But other than that, all the content is there, everything. It comes over pretty flawlessly, pretty seamlessly.
Yeah, I just went for it and I was fine. And I'm pretty OCD and like control of things.
Okay, I haven't updated yet. Do I go to self-service?
Yes.
I saw only 16.1 there.
Scroll down.
Oh, it's further down, sorry.
It's right below.
Any,
Any other concerns?
Not a concern, but for secondary math, the smart rep just sent me a YouTube video he created of the secondary tools highlighted. So I can send that.
Thank you.
thanks, Jessica. Any other concerns
Way
or
to go,
questions, things we can help you with?
Can I get the bit.ly address?
Yes, we'll get it right to the back. And if you have your yellow cards, we can sign those off so you get your hour. Can we give them more than an hour because they're going to probably practice with it?
Okay, 2.
2.
Or something.
Oh, so have a great day and a piece of toast.